Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really exciting. We're cracking open the historical dossiers of some real self-made titans to uncover something we all crave, right? The timeless blueprints for wealth and opportunity. We're going to see exactly how these historical figures went from the absolute bottom to the very top, and how they created unprecedented new business opportunities along the way that you can absolutely replicate today.
So let's kick things off with a direct provocation straight from the archives. I hold that any young man possessing a good constitution and a fair degree of intelligence may become rich. Now you might be wondering, what's the staggering truth behind that quote? Well, it's that top executive positions, the ones commanding massive salaries and incredible responsibility, are actually yawning empty. They are quite literally sitting there, just waiting for the right minds with progressive ideas to step up. The massive institutions of the business world are desperately seeking people who truly understand the fundamentals of earning money and driving success.
That brings us to Section 1, the room at the top, humble beginnings and boundless fortunes.
Just take a second to think about the massive chasm between these figures' humble beginnings and their ultimate fortunes. We have Jay Gould, who literally tramped the country as a surveyor trying to make a map. But 40 years later, he satisfied his doubters by pulling out stock certificates worth $80 million. Then there's Peter Cooper. He wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, or deal with vile odors for that matter, and built a $6 million fortune in the glue business. And John W. Mackey, who started out with the calloused hands of a shipwright, only to build a $20 million fortune. It just proves that no matter how humble your start, possessing the right traits creates absolutely boundless opportunities to earn immense wealth.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering Smallest Details, Astor and Stewart's Retail Blueprints.
This perfectly illustrates how seizing an unexpected chance can create entirely new empires. On one hand, you have A.T. Stewart. He actually found his calling completely by accident. He took over a friend's store just to secure a loan, only to discover he had this massive natural gift for merchandise. On the other hand, we have John Jacob Astor. His absolute secret to success wasn't an accident at all. It was knowing the minutest point about every single part of his massive business. He proved that mastering an infinite number of small details is exactly what prepares you to command great wealth.
Which brings us to Section 3, Character as a Power, the Stephen Girard Dossier. Now, the crucial takeaway here is that character isn't just some feel-good moral victory. In business, it is actual, literal power. Take a look at this incredible transaction. Stephen Girard, who was one of the greatest millionaires of his time, trusted his drayman to buy a shipload of tea worth $200,000. He didn't base this decision on some long, complicated resume. No, he trusted him entirely because of the young man's proven integrity. He made it his business to know his man, inside and out of business hours. And that immense sum? $50,000. That is the sheer profit handed directly to that young drayman from that single transaction. It is wild to think about, but it proves the staggering financial return on investment of absolute honesty. When an employer has that kind of profound belief in you, it creates unprecedented financial opportunities that just simply aren't available to people operating on shady lines.
All right, let's pivot to Section 4, the arts of politeness, the ROI of courtesy.
Our source outlines the really crucial rules of the quote-unquote bridled tongue. Never dispute with your employer. Avoid debating politics, steer clear of religion, and remember above all else that courtesy pays. These archival rules of restraint prevented lost business, and honestly, that's a lesson just as valuable in today's modern boardrooms as it was back then. But as we're about to see, active politeness didn't just save money, it generated brand new massive wealth.
Consider the incredible story of Ross Winans. He netted a business deal from Russian agents that paid him $100,000 a year. And how did he pull it off? Simply through his politeness. When others in the exact same trade offered those agents scant courtesy, Winans literally weaponized basic manners to capture a massive international market that his competitors completely ignored. The source also points out the Bon Marché store in Paris, which instituted the most exquisite politeness ever seen in a mercantile establishment, and they used that to develop the largest business of its kind in the entire world. So yeah, good manners are quite literally good business.
This leads us right into Section 5, Seeing the Unseen, the Microscopic Eye. The archive defines the microscopic eye as endeavoring to see what others fail to see. This means actively spotting new possibilities of sales, new means of profit, and totally brand new methods of doing things. It's like having a superpower. Just as a microscope reveals a hidden, bustling world right in front of you, applying this lens to your daily business allows you to actually monetize intense observation.
Thomas Edison's career perfectly highlights this principle in action. The source notes that he didn't become the world's greatest electrician by magic. He did it by steadily looking at a thing until he saw exactly what everyone else missed. That kind of intense focus is what translates directly into unprecedented innovation, creating entirely new industries and mountains of wealth, basically from thin air.
And we see this dynamic play out at all levels of business. On one side, we have a glazier who has flat out refused a job, but instead of leaving, he picked up the broken pieces of glass the hired workman threw away. He started working as if he had been hired, fashioned the finest church window in the world, and became rich and famous. On the other side, consider a clerk who found a single missing factor, an error in a Bradstreet's report. By speaking up, he saved his employers from a massive mistake, and the result? He was admitted to a partnership. Whether you're building a masterpiece from discarded trash or spotting a tiny anomaly in a financial ledger, seeing the unseen is what forces your own promotion.
Finally, we reach Section 6, the ultimate success key, the study of men.
The source boldly claims that the greatest college on earth is the business world, and understanding human nature is your ultimate tool. While it's pretty funny, the story of this sharp Yankee peddler proves a massive point. This guy managed to sell 3 copies of the exact same book to one family in a single day. He sold one to the husband in the store, one to the wife while she was calling at a neighbor's, and one to the daughter at home. The kicker? None of them even wanted the book. Knowing the weaknesses of human nature and how to actually avail yourself of them is the ultimate key to selling, earning money, and succeeding.
So as we close out this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought directly from the archives. 1,000 great firms are yawning empty, waiting for leaders with these exact traits. The boundless wealth and opportunities are out there waiting for you, just as they were for Edison, Astor, and Stewart. The historical blueprint is laid out right in front of you. The only question left is, do you have the winning cards to play it? Keep looking for those unseen opportunities, and we'll see you next time.